All right, and we are live. Welcome back with Murphy Mac to another episode of the Fitness Beginner Podcast, where we help you get started on your fitness journey. What is going on, everybody? We have a cool podcast episode for y'all today. We have another guest joining us. His name is Yousef. We are going to bring him on. I'm not going to try to pronounce his last name because I'm probably going to butcher it. But I'm going to let him introduce himself and tell y'all a little bit about him before we jump into things. So go ahead. You have the floor.
Yeah, I think the easiest way to say it is, I'm just a guy trying to make it and survive in this world. Honestly, just fight every day, and try to look after money, health, which has to do with the mind, and obviously get a good girl in my life, and that's really all I go after every day. So, girls ask me like, "What do I do for work?" Or people ask me, I'm like, "I don't know. I fight every day. I don't know. I'm a guy. I like those things." So. That's what I think in my head. So,
yeah. So you've made a pretty big change in your health in your life. So that's kind of what I want to kind of get into today. The podcast is called the Fitness Beginner Podcast. So the whole idea is just to help people, get started on their journey, try to motivate them, let them know kind of the basics of things. We don't dive too deep into like the weeds of science and stuff, but we like to just tell stories. I think that kind of helps people relate more. So I like to dive kind of into your fitness journey and what kind of got you into it.
sure.
And then we can go from there.
Yeah. So, okay. Yeah, I can. I've never really been a person who's been like way out of shape. I might get like 5 pounds overweight, 10 pounds overweight, but not like I always look fairly fit, but it doesn't necessarily mean I feel very fit and very good, So I've kind of played tennis for a very long time. So that's helped me kind of stay in good shape. And for the most part, just like work out regularly and whatever. But I think the big difference is like knowing what not to do, like what to subtract. Even though you might look good on the outside, you don't necessarily feel as good. You're not really that strong, So like alcohol, cutting out alcohol has been like probably one of the biggest game changers, other than changing the diet, which alcohol is still a diet. So, yeah, I could keep talking, but that's a good start, right?
Yeah, and what I meant to say, you made a change. I didn't necessarily mean like you lost a bunch of weight or whatever, but you had a change when it comes to your business. So you have some successful businesses that you run, and from what I guess I don't know how to say her name, Lanevi sent me.
Yeah.
That's kind of how you've used kind of your fitness journey to help you be more successful in your business. So how did that change, like getting into the gym, working on your health? How did that change your fitness? Your fitness, your business side of things.
Yeah. So business is so hard, especially so I'm a solo founder. I never really taken out any money, so like borrowed from investors. So I don't have like a co-founder, and growing a business is extremely difficult. It's way more challenging than I think anybody realizes, especially how big you want to go. It's very, very, very emotionally daunting. You need to be like in tip-top physical and mental shape. That's why I think you see all these people, like they talk about like, running and having a good diet. Yeah, I could not survive through the storms I've experienced, like if I were to like drink a bunch of alcohol or not work out, like I just can't sustain it physically. I don't feel good enough. The weight is too heavy. You have to cleanse yourself. So I've reached those points where, and I'm a survivor in business. I've been in business for over 10 years. And most entrepreneurs and businesses don't survive for than 10 years. And I know why. It's just you have to figure out solutions when things aren't going right. And one of those things, is what I've said. You have to be able to handle the weight.
Yeah, I like to say like fitness is the foundation for everything. And I think it relays so much into business as well. Because a lot of those, the little things that you pick up from working out, from going to the gym, from being consistent, being disciplined, like all those little things that you build and develop within your health and wellness journey, they relay so much to business, in my opinion. I'm not a successful business owner like you are, but I think fitness could be that foundation. And it don't have to be business related. Like your fitness is going to be the foundation, well, not only for your health, but it could be business, but also like your family, your relationships, because you don't realize it, but like everything that revolves around, you know, working on yourself, it translates into other areas of your life. So I like to say, you know, fitness is that foundation when it comes to anything. It's like building a house. So think of your health as kind of the foundation. That's the foundation of the
Yeah.
house. And then you build on top of that from there.
Here's the thing, though. People talk about health and fitness, and you're talking about it. I know a lot of people who spend a lot of time in the gym and stuff, but they still go out and party and throw away their mind and their health. And I don't think that it's basically like that kind of ruins it. It really ruins it to an extent. You kind of have to treat your body and mind like a sanctuary. So I think you almost have to go even another step further beyond that and just really be careful on what you do, because there's, like I said, there's a lot of people that look super ripped, super fit, but then they go out and party for benders. So many people I know, and I think that it's like a car crash. You go backwards. You know what I mean? So I think they're linked because it's fitness and health and diet and what you eat. So
Yeah, there's definitely a mental aspect to it as well. You can work out as hard as you want, but like you said, if you're going out and doing a bender on the weekend, then you're just like one step forward, two steps back. You know, you're kind of diminishing the progress there. So you definitely have to, you know, be there, you know, mentally just as well as physically to kind of benefit from it. You don't want to, you know, kind of ruin all those results that you've been working hard towards. But to me, like fitness helps me mentally as well. Like if I don't go like do my normal routine in the morning, I feel off. Like I'm off for the rest of the day. So it kind of gets me out of whack, and I don't like it. So I think it could be good for that as well, to kind of get you in the rhythm, get your day set up and go. Because I'm a morning person. I like to get up and go in the morning.
what time in the morning do you work out?
I get up at 4. I try to be working out by 5 to 5:30 in the morning. It's typically by 5:30.
How long are the workouts? What do you do?
It depends on the day and what I'm training for at the time.
Yeah.
So anywhere from an hour to an hour and a half. I just signed up to do another triathlon. So right now I'm just doing a little bit of cardio in the morning. So typically it's a little less. It just depends on what I'm training for. So I just got done doing a 100-mile ultra marathon in April. So I was doing a lot of running then. So I change it up. I do different things. But yeah, I try to do no longer than an hour and a half at the most. And that's just me lollygagging around in the gym. I really could do it in an hour, but I'd just be wasting time.
100 miles sounds rough.
Oh yeah, it was brutal. It was an experience, but I liked it. I enjoyed it. It was I'm glad I did it for sure. It was tough, and I'll probably do another one someday. But so I started this little bucket list thing that I want to do. So each year, my goal is to do one big challenge on the bucket list, and this year was the ultra marathon. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to space them out a little bit, do one a year, not try to put them back to back.
Yeah, I thought about it, but I don't see personally me. I was just running 3 miles a day, and so that's 100 miles in a month. That's what I was doing, or 5 miles or 10 miles, but 100 miles all at one time.
Well, I will say, I was not a runner before I did this. I was not.
Yeah.
Now I will say I'd done an Ironman before, so I did run training for my Ironman, but that's the only like running I've ever done. I didn't do any running before, and then after the Ironman, I didn't do any running either because I did a bodybuilding show after that. So like I was doing no running then, but then I got back into running. So I don't know. I'm one of those people that once I put my mind to something, like once I have my mind set on a goal, like I'm gonna go all in on it, and I got my mind dead set on that goal, and I'm gonna do that. Like I completely changed my schedule up, my workout plan to specifically for that one goal. So I trained for the ultra in like 6 months. I did it. So I don't recommend that though. I don't recommend doing that. It was not smart. I definitely tore my body up a lot. Like my legs were pretty beat up afterwards. I mean, I recovered in probably like a week, but I definitely wouldn't recommend that. You need to be running for at least a year or two, probably 2 years consistently before you do something like that.
Got it. So you're really into it.
Yeah, it's like I said. So I grew up playing sports, so I always had something to keep me busy, keep me going. And high school is when I started lifting weights. So I kind of quickly fell in love with fitness. I was always a skinny guy, real small, skinny guy. always like, probably smaller than everybody else. And as soon as I found fitness, as soon as I started putting on some muscles, some strength, I got a little bigger. I quickly fell in love with it. Like I got addicted really quick. So I've always lifted weights, but I always played sports too, and that kept me busy all the way through college. And then after college, I really got into the gym then, but I was already working out, so I still had like a lot of free time from when I would have been practicing at those other times. So I was like, I'm bored. I gotta have something to do. You know what I'm saying? I don't like being inside. I like to get outside and do something. So that's when I found a friend of mine talked me into doing a triathlon. And that one little triathlon led me down this path doing all these other crazy things. So now it's the start of the bucket list thing. So now I got one thing a year that I'm doing. So it keeps me busy, keeps me disciplined because I can, like I say, once I set my mind on a goal, I'll go all in on that one thing. So I like doing it. That's just what I like. It keeps me going, and I love it. Everything about fitness. I love it. I enjoy it. That's why I have the podcast. I try to help people. I don't work in fitness. This is not like a job for me. I do this strictly for a passion. It's a passion of mine. I love doing it. I want to help other people. I want to help other people benefit from fitness like I have because it's done a lot of good things for me in my life. It helps me with, like I said, it's kind of the foundation for me. So it helps me with everything that I do. So I enjoy it. I get a lot of benefit from it, although it can be a unhealthy obsession. I like to preface that it can be very unhealthy. Like running 100 miles, it's probably not very healthy for your body. Doing a
You know,
bodybuilding show, it's not healthy.
yeah. It kind of reminds me of the brutality of tennis, especially if you're not really prepared and trained for it. Tennis is super brutal. It's just, as you know, you can be like sprinting back and forth, left and right, up and down for hours and hours, and then you play again after that. You play again after that. It's really brutal. You have to be like super. You basically what I was doing to train for it. I was doing triathlons. I would run, bike, swim, stretch, yoga, tennis. Like it's like working out like 5 hours a day, every day. It's kind of brutal. So
Was you trying to like play professionally? Were you training for that?
I think at one point in my life I kind of wanted to. I got started a little too late. Like I can definitely hit the ball. Like I've definitely hit the ball with like a lot of pros, guys you see on TV. I can hit the ball pretty well, but it goes beyond that. It's more of a physicalness. It's you're hitting the ball, but you're running and moving while you're hitting the ball. So it's a bit different, but it does take a life sacrifice. It takes a life sacrifice.
Yeah, so tennis is one of those sports I've never really played or got into because it's not really big in the area that I'm in. So not a lot of people here play tennis. But I did see an interesting debate online the other day, and I want to ask you this since you're a tennis player. I saw a thing online that said, who do you think is more athletic, a tennis player or a baseball player?
Yeah, that's like, I mean, I know the answer easily. So I used to play baseball. I played soccer and baseball growing up. I was one of the best. I was the best baseball player in the league when I was like 11. And I was, I got pretty good, and then I didn't get as good because I didn't have coaching. But so I know what baseball is like. It's basically you're hitting a ball, but you're not moving. And I was a catcher and a pitcher, so I was in, I was in the two occupant spots that got the ball the most. Tennis is combining baseball and soccer, but you don't get to pass the ball, and there's no clock. It just until it ends. So you combine Barry Bonds, you combine Ronaldo, and then you also take away the clock. It's until the score reaches something, and you cannot pass the ball. That's how challenging it is.
So your answer is obviously tennis.
It's way more difficult because of the solo-ness of it, and also to become a world-class player, like to be ranked, you have to figure out how to get support and money. That's why a lot of these people have like backing from their family. So it's just like it's so you take the amount of professional tennis players who make a living and you compare it to how many of the other ones make a living. It's the percentage ratio is very, very small. I know a ton of great tennis players, but they just don't make any money.
Yeah.
So it's way harder. They play back to, dude, 2 matches in a day, 1 match back to back. Like every day they're playing year round. They don't play 160, they don't play like every this or that and pass the ball. It's crazy, dude. It's crazy.
That's an interesting topic See, I played baseball growing up, so I was wondering what a tennis player how they would answer this question because you can definitely see you definitely have to be very athletic, but there is a big difference when it comes to a single person sport, like you said, and a team sport. It is a lot harder when you're the only person out there. Nobody else is going to make the play. You got to make the play. So I can
Now,
see how you say it's like soccer, like it never ends. It keeps going back and forth.
yeah, and I'm not saying that baseball players couldn't play tennis and be just as good. I'm just saying which sport is more difficult.
Yeah,
The
yeah, I
only
can
thing
see
I
that.
thought was The only thing I thought was difficult was the ball going so fast and hitting you in baseball. That was that. Other than that, you can get good at things. Getting hit in the head with a baseball is like kind of not the pleasant part of baseball.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was thinking like if you put a tennis player in a baseball game, could they hit a 100-mile-per-hour fastball? And my answer was no. But
No.
then I was like, well, if you put a baseball player in a tennis match, don't they serve it like over 100 miles per hour too? I was like, they probably can't hit that either. So I was like,
Nah.
it's kind of even there. Only advantage you have in tennis, you got a big old racket. A big racket's a little. I feel like you
It's-
may have a slight advantage hitting the ball with a racket than you would a baseball bat.
They're acquired skills. They're not like kids who are not very athletic can still be very, very, very good and world class with enough practice. Like you can,
Yeah,
they're acquired skills. Yeah,
yeah, I
it's
get what
not.
you mean. If you practice that one specific thing, you could get good at it. I get
Yeah,
that. Yeah, that's an interesting debate. I like that. I would like to see somebody put that to the test, have like a video of, putting some tennis players against baseball players and see how it goes. I think that'd be cool.
they would both be very bad.
At each other's sport, yeah,
If they never played the other one, they would both be very bad. Like I already know.
yeah.
Yeah, they
Especially when
would.
you're going against a professional in the other sport.
Yeah, they would both be very bad. Yeah,
That'd be cool to see though.
yeah,
That'll be on YouTube here soon. We'll see it.
that's hilarious.
So let's get into. So you have what? So you have a few businesses, don't you? You're an author. What? Let's talk about the business side of things. What did
Yeah.
you write a book on?
So I wrote a book. I wrote a book just on the whole business journey, going after money, and the girl complex. Not the girl complex, but like everything that happened with run-ins with girls along the years, right? Because obviously that was something I want in my life, just like every other guy. Like, who doesn't want a hot, nice chick?
Well, you got the business thing going for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're probably too busy all the time. You have to take some days off from work.
Yeah. I mean, everything comes at a cost.
Oh yeah,
Everything comes at a cost. So I just reached a point where I thought I got everything I'd wanted, and I was like, oh, this is something good to tell when I'm not around anymore. So I just wrote the book. I'm sure you saw the title, so probably
So how old are you now?
37.
37. Okay. Yeah, I'm kind of in a different boat than you. I got married pretty young. I married my high school sweetheart, so we got married at 22, 23. I'm 26 now. So yeah, pretty young. But yeah, so definitely on different paths in life. But hey, like you said, everything comes with a cost. So you got a successful business, so it's a little different. So what is you're a CEO of Humboldts? Is that how you say it? Humboldts Secret Supplies? Is that did I say that right?
We call it HS Supplies,
HS Supplies.
but it stands for Humboldt's Secret Supplies.
So what does that consist of?
So I just make plant nutrients, like plant fertilizer. I dropped out of college in 2010 to grow, and then I stopped growing, and so I started making nutrients. And I just started with one bottle, one nutrient, and one formula from what I learned from growing, and that caught a little bit of wind. And then I eventually just came out with a lot more products, make products for people now, and it just keeps growing as I push further. So just fertilizer, liquids, and powders in bottles.
So you make fertilizer for like farmers? Is that who you're selling it to?
Yeah, and just the normal home grower, like if you wanted to spray something on your lawn, or you had a plant you wanted to feed, or any plants, or any sort of any trees, anything growing, So
That's interesting. So how did you get into that exactly? You said that's what you went to school for?
no, I said I dropped out of school, so I dropped out of school.
What were you in school for?
Economics at UCSD. And
So
then
how do you get into growing fertilizer? I feel like that's so like a niche thing.
Yeah. So I was growing. I dropped out to grow. You know, like grow.
I don't know what you're referring to.
Like growing. You probably can't do it over there in Alabama. You get in
No.
trouble.
Okay, yeah, all right. That's what I was thinking. You can't do it in Alabama.
Yeah, yeah,
No.
yeah, yeah. So I
Well,
started
it's legal.
growing.
It's legal where you're at, so you're
Yeah, yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah. So I started growing in my dorm room with my roommates,
Oh,
and
okay,
I
that
used to
makes
have
sense
some
now.
successful grows, and I eventually was like, I gotta go 100%. So I just did that and spent years doing it, 10,000 hours, and figured out how it all worked. And
So then that's how that kind of led into the fertilizer side of things.
yeah,
So now,
mhm.
so now you just, how do you make fertilizer? How does that? Do you manufacture it somehow, or you grow it? I don't know.
I
I
do.
don't know anything about gardening. I
I
swear.
love it. I love it. So yeah, so you mix it. So actually, so it's like this, like fertilizer. I can show you. Actually, I got a bottle in the back, but actually, I literally have a bottle in that. Bottles in there. Should I just show you?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, I'll pull it out. Let's see. All right, let's check this out. This is actually one of the original bottles I made. It's called Humboldt's Secret Golden Tree.
Okay.
It's liquid. It's in a black bottle. This is I made in like 2012. That was like one of my first bottles. This is like some newer stuff I've been coming out with. It's like you attach it to like a hose spray, greenify, and make your like lawns like green, nitrogen iron. You spray it on it and it'll turn lawns green. So I kind of transitioned away from the other industry over to like what you might buy or just everybody might buy, you know? So
So I just went blank on what I was going to ask you. So I'm trying to think. Like I said, I don't know anything about fertilizer. I'm trying to wrap my head around this.
yeah.
When you go, so you're selling, you manufacture it. You're the
Yes.
manufacturer? Okay.
Yep.
And so you're selling, do you sell mainly to businesses, to like farmers, or are you selling mostly to individuals, to like homes?
Yeah. Combination of both, but doing direct to consumer is good. You can also sell
Mm.
it in bulk too, and also partnering if you have the opportunity with big retailers to do that as well. It's a combination of both.
Okay.
So
So so what's the goal with the fertilizer? Are you trying to, is it like organic? I don't know if you can make
yeah.
fertilizer organic. I don't know how that
Yeah,
works.
so this is actually organic. It's just not certified organic. I don't
Mhm.
specialize in organic right now. It's a smaller portion of the market. A
Yeah.
lot of people are asking me for it, and a lot of people are, it is a demand, but I'm just not. I have other bigger things I'm dealing with right now. So it's actually kind of weird that you say that. That I just don't do certified organic because you have to kind of certify your facility. So I have a
Mhm.
place where I make it all, and then I have to go through a lot of stuff with the organic, and it's just a very big project. So you have to elect what you can't do everything at once. You have to pick like the biggest ones that are most important to do. So
Yeah. The organic is definitely is a smaller market, but I think it's starting to get bigger. Like people are starting to get more into like buying organic foods and things like that. So I think that's
yeah,
you may have a future business opportunity there to go down that path. Or at least hopefully we start going down that path. I think we're on the right direction as a country. I think of getting, starting to eat some healthier foods and get some of that junk out of our diets that we eat so much here in the
yeah.
states.
You asked me what the real goal is, though. The goal, look, the goal of any entrepreneur in business is, and probably what most people want, is freedom. And you get freedom by being able to make money. That's really the goal, is you want to be able to make money. Yeah, you can have an impact on society. Yeah, you can do this or do that. But if you aren't making money and you aren't having freedom to do things, you're in a lot of trouble. Because that's the whole point of being an entrepreneur. Some people are like solo entrepreneurs. They start businesses, but they don't actually build a business. It's just a job. They just get like a solo job. They don't have any employees. They don't have anybody doing stuff, you know? So the whole goal is freedom. Some people say, "Oh, to grow it and sell it." You don't necessarily need to grow a business just to sell it if you really enjoy it. But you'll
Hmm.
know internally when that time comes if you really want to do that and you want to move on to something else. But really, the whole point is to make money, and you do that by selling units. The more units you can sell, and also not increase your expenses too much, the more money you can make. So, how many units are leaving your place a day? That is a very big indicator. And how much are you making on average per unit and of which product? So you have to have the ability to make massive amounts of product and also send it out without error, which takes a whole lot. Like you're talking that's a whole lot of work there. You know what I mean? Storing and selling product and complying with everything. So that's really the goal, is just to make money.
So do you see it? Do you see yourself doing this same thing in 10 years, or do you see this like opening up other doors for you to go into other areas?
The thing is that, it's a good question. It's a great question. So the doors are opening, and they're continually opening, weirdly enough, right now. I don't know what kind of momentum I'm on, but the doors keep opening, and big doors, like world's biggest doors, and some things just keep opening for me. And I think if you just keep going and you don't stop, you never really know what's going to happen. What I found is literally one person can have a very big impact on your life, whether it's, or a multitude of just one people. So it's fun, as long as you're having fun. Sometimes it's not so fun. And then those times you're like, oh man, what do I do? But if you can have fun and have freedom, and you can work towards something that's like bigger than you could ever think of. The coolest thing is when you work towards something that's like so big, you don't even like know how you're going to do it. And the cool thing is with AI these days and ChatGPT, it can help you a little bit. But that's the coolest thing, going after something that's like so big and you're just like, how am I going to do this? But you just start doing it, and things start coming to help you. So I don't know whether it's God or the universe, but some things just pop out and help you sometimes. So that's what I found.
Yeah, you mentioned you don't know where one door may lead you. You were in college at one point, then you were growing, and then now you got fertilizer company. So it's you probably never thought you were going to be making fertilizer in your life. It's probably not something you thought of
No,
growing
no,
up.
no, 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 no. When I was a kid, I remember I got a story of somebody in my family telling me about the pet rock and how they sold millions of dollars overnight. But then I also remember them telling me, like, when I was 6, about like Miracle Grow. Miracle Grow. I definitely remember that. So, but those are just like things I was told as a kid. I never thought I would be making fertilizer in my whole life. You're right.
It's funny how all these businesses come about. If something like one thing leads to another, leads to another, and then boom, you have something that you're successful at. So it's kind of cool how a lot of these companies come about nowadays. It's like, I don't know, little things that make a big difference. So how does fitness play a role in your business? So how do you kind of utilize that to
I'll show you some
to
of
be
my
successful?
my bench press right there. I got my Bowflex dumbbell weights over there. I got my whiteboard, so I don't have to go anywhere to the gym if I really want to pump out like a 30-minute workout, full body. So I mean, I needed to stay sane. I also like looking good. I don't want to fall out. But what I've also noticed, and if this has anything to relate, just recently changed my diet, shed like 12 pounds. I got super shredded, and all I did was just ask ChatGPT, what do I eat to look like this person? And boom, I just did it. It was brutal at first, but over 3 weeks, I lost 12 pounds, and I'm super shredded, and it's given me a crazy energy. Like, it's been one of the most impactful things in my entire life, is changing my diet, because I thought what I was eating was good, but it wasn't right. And it's completely changed my entire life. I would say my life, it's one of the biggest, most impactful things that's ever happened in my life, changing my
Yeah,
diet.
diet is key. That's the main thing. I would say diet is probably 80% of it, and then your working out is probably the other 20%. And diet is such a you don't realize how bad you're eating until it's like you said, you go really hard on something and you really dial it in, and then you feel better and you're like, oh, I was really eating bad foods.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize how bad it was affecting my body because you just got used to it. You got used to feeling that way, and then you changed it, and you're like, oh, I feel a lot better.
Oh,
And that's what people need to realize. So that's why I try to get the message out there. Hey, change this food, this junk that you're eating, and it's gonna make a huge difference in your energy levels, how you feel, your mood, your mental, your clarity, all that kind of stuff. It's gonna make a huge difference.
yeah. And you asked what, what about fitness and everything, right? You asked me those questions. Why do I do it? A lot of it was, there's an aesthetic part. But more importantly, when I was playing tennis, that was a big part too. Like, in order to be really good at tennis, you have to be an animal, like in all shapes and forms. But I think that now I'm 37. When I was younger, I wanted to be big and strong because I wasn't, I was a little bit skinnier in high school. So I think I went through a period where I did want to work. I was working out hours a day and to get big and bulk up. So, I looked a little scarier, and I did like one competition like you did when I was younger, but over time, I have kind of, it's not what has caused, like, I don't experience a ton of pain from missing out on being like huge. Like, it's just not something I want to do, because also it doesn't really play good for a tennis player. For me, what's caused me the most pain is not having enough money to do the things that I want. So, as much as I'm super into fitness and all that, I'm kind of, my mind is focused on business a bit more, because that's what's caused a lot of pain. It's changed over the years. So, yeah.
I like how you're honest about it. Like you said, you like doing things for money. You want to look good. Like I like how you're open and honest about it, because a lot of people, I feel like, well, they're not as transparent on that. They'll try to beat around the bush. But hey, I agree with you. Like, I like to work out because I like to look good. I'll be honest. Like,
Yeah.
it makes me feel better knowing
Well,
that I feel
yeah.
good in my own skin.
If people are less prone to pick fights with you. At least when I was in high school, man, I got picked on. I had to deal with a bunch of bullies and stuff. But I'll tell you what, when I gained 43 pounds, I went from a buck 48 to 187. They did not mess with me anymore. They kind of were like,
Yeah.
in high school. So it does play a big role, I think,
Yeah,
too.
I definitely agree with that. I do it for other reasons, but the aesthetic reasons are definitely part of that, and I'm not afraid to admit it. But that's not the only. The good thing about fitness is it has a lot of other benefits, but a side effect of fitness is you look good aesthetically. That's kind of a side effect of it, so it's a win-win for me. So I like doing it as well. So how do you said you got a bench and some weights behind you? Is that kind of how you approach fit? Is that the only kind of workouts you do? Do you go to the gym? Are you still playing tennis? Like, what's your fitness routine look like now?
Fitness routine. So I played tennis yesterday. It's hard. I haven't been playing a bunch of tennis lately because I played so much tennis. I was playing almost too much tennis that I kind of felt like I should be doing other things. My body's like, you shouldn't be out here right now. Uh, so I go through periods where I work out every day and run 3 miles every day, and then I go through periods where I'm just like working. I literally don't have time to work out. But then I'm like, oh shit, like I haven't, I need to go run. I need to work out. I need this 30 minutes to, work out, or I need to do a bunch of push-ups, or I need to go run around the block or play tennis. I kind of listen internally to what I need. I get on the scale, look at my weight, I look in the mirror, I kind of know where I'm at. I'm not trying to be like Superman right now, because I just got some really big things I'm dealing with in business. So it's opportunity cost, and I've already played so much tennis, and whether I can bench more weight or not, it doesn't really matter to me, as long as I look the same, sort of. I might, so yeah, I'm really stoked. Yeah, so I don't have any super finite goals right now. Although I do like playing age group tennis. So maybe when I'm 40, when I'm in the 40s and I play these tournaments, I'll be more dedicated to it. But right now, it's growing a business is pretty tough. It takes a lot of mind.
Yeah, you definitely go through different stages when it comes to like your fitness journey. Like you said, you're not really trying to get bigger right now. You're not necessarily training for tennis right at this moment because you're busy with business side of things. So it's important to know that you're gonna go through these different periods, because I think a lot of people they get dead set on one way, and then when that changes, it gets them all out of whack and gets them off. But you just gotta know, like, life's gonna throw curveballs at you. Things are
Yeah.
gonna change. You're gonna start a new business, so your schedule's gonna change. You may set a new goal, like you may start trying to train for a certain sport. So
Yeah.
you're gonna go through these different phases, and people got to realize that, because
Yeah.
a lot of people are hard on themselves, and they take it, they kind of beat themselves up about it. But you just got to be okay to like to roll with the punches. You got to be flexible.
Yeah. I mean, I think that if you think, yeah, exactly. It just depends on what your goals are. If you want to be super jacked or this, or you want to be able to run 100 miles, you're gonna have to put in the time. And if you do that, you're gonna lose out. Everything comes at a cost. You're gonna miss out on some other stuff you could be doing. So, you know,
So what would you say to someone who thinks that they're too far gone to turn their life around through fitness?
Nah, like are they overweight, or are they just they don't look good, or are they
But
or
they
they're
just think they telling themselves, "Hey, I'm too far away. There's no coming back now." It could be overweight. It could be,
overweight?
you know, different things.
Dude, it's so easy these days. I'm telling you, dude. Chat GPT. All they if they're overweight and they actually want to get super fit, or not super fit, drop. Let's say drop a lot of weight, shed a lot of the fat or whatever. They can just ask Chat GPT, "What should I eat?" and take a picture of everything they eat, and then and then ask it like every time they're about to eat, what time it is. Oh, should I eat? This is what I want to look like. It will literally tell you all the answers. And then when you're starving, you can say, "Oh, I'm starving. I'm freaking out." It'll say, "That's normal. That's normal. That's normal. It's okay. Just fight through it." It's crazy, dude. This was never around back then. Never, it's insane. It's way smarter. It's crazy because it pulls on data and information that you just never know about in so many realms. So, in terms of losing weight, I mean, all they have to do is just live one day at a time, and the results will come if they just listen to ChatGPT telling them what to eat based upon getting all the data where they are and where they want to be, what they want to look like. So that's in terms of a weight. Then in terms of getting strong, well, that's a different one. I don't know. Ask it again. I don't know. It's just a different one because you got to be at this. I look at it as there's a weight, and then there's a mirror, and then how far you can run without getting tired, and how many weights can you lift without getting tired. It's like a few different things. It's like the actual metrics of what you can do physically, based also on what is the real number that you weigh and what do you look like in the mirror. You can't fight that. Somebody, my brother is like, "Oh, I did this and blah. Show me the scale. Show me the picture in the front of the mirror and on the scale. That's all I care about. I don't care if you bike 200 miles or whatever. The mirror and the scale don't lie. You know. So that's the way I go about it.
Yeah, I like how you bring up the whole Chat GPT thing because one, I love Chat GPT. I love using it, but and it can tell you so much information, and literally everything you want to know is at your fingertips. You just type it in and you'll get the answer. But I think people's problem is they just they have all the information they need. They just don't do it. Like they just don't. They know I shouldn't eat that. They know, oh, maybe I should get up and go for a walk today, or maybe I should work out today. But they just choose not to do it. And I don't know how to like get people to do it. You have all the information you need at your fingertips, especially with Chat GPT now. You can figure out what exactly you need to do. Plug in all your information, like you said, type it in, your body weight, your age, your sex, all that kind of stuff. It'll tell you exactly what to do. But then it's up to you to actually do it. You have to actually do the work. Nobody else can do it
Yeah.
for you. So people have a lack of accountability. I think like lack of information is not it's not an excuse anymore. There's no such thing as lack of information anymore. You have all the information you need. It's all a lack of discipline, a lack of accountability, and they just don't want it. They say they want to lose the weight, but they don't. They don't make a change. So I don't know how we can get people, to be more accountable.
Usually it's when they experience enough pain that something flips, and it's probably happened with both me and you. It's not like I'm talking here like, oh, I've always been this or that. Like, dude, I partied for 2 or 3 years. Like I went out and did like nonsense. You know what I mean? But it's because, like you said, I didn't want it. So you have to really want it. You have to block out everything else that controls your thoughts too. Like family, people, or friends. Everybody who's going to convince you not to think any different. You have to block out. Like, so it comes at a cost. It's definitely not easy, but it's definitely possible.
Yeah, you definitely have to make sacrifices. That's what a lot of people don't get. It's kind of like you said earlier. Like people will start working out, they'll start eating healthier, but then on the weekend they'll go do whatever they want to. They'll go back to to the bar, eat whatever they want. So you got to make sacrifices, and that comes with a lot of things: the foods that you're eating, the time that you're spending, the hobbies that you're participating in, the people that you're hanging out with. That's a big one that a lot of people they don't want to sacrifice. Because I get it, like when you've been friends with somebody for so long, but a lot of times those friends may be the reason that you're overweight because they're going out eating McDonald's, drinking beer, whatever it is they doing.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to make sacrifices at some point if you really want it.
Yeah, yeah. We're usually. I feel like we're usually at fault for everything. Most of the things that happen, we're at fault for. We can elect to. There's this cool book. Yeah, have you ever listened to it? Power of Habit. It's like one of those habit books. It tells you how like habits are formed and patterns. You know how you like fall into the loop? Like you're in a loop of like working out. You work out at the same
Mm.
time. People do the same things. And there's ways that habits are formed. There's like cues, location, event immediately preceding it. I'll give an example like Friday night, 6 o'clock, get a text from the same person. San Diego, 6 o'clock, Friday night, text from a person. What ends up happening? You go out, party your life away, maybe go on a bender 2, 3 days. Your whole next week's shot repeats, right? So the Power of Habit book tells you how that loop, that pattern, and the habit was formed, and actually how to deconstruct it and not have it happen again. It's very powerful. Once you're in a habit loop, they're very powerful. So you have to understand how they come together. So I found it a little helpful when I was trying to change my behavior.
Yeah, it's like the habit stacking that you hear. You use one habit to kind of stack another habit on top of it. So you kind of relate the two things together. And it's kind of like you said, you get in the rhythm of doing it. Well, when you do this one thing, it leads to you doing this other thing. So like maybe me setting my gym clothes out to be ready to go to the gym in the morning. Well, since I set those out, now I'm more likely to go to the gym because my clothes are right there and they're ready. So it's kind of I like utilizing that. Like I'll relate them to each other, and that kind of helps me, stick to my routine. Like in the morning, I have a certain thing I do, then I do this, then I do this, then I go to the gym. So it helps. And the problem is, we all get in that rhythm, and then we don't want to break that rhythm, because like so if if you're going down the wrong path, you got to make some changes, and you're always gonna feel that resistance. You don't want to change because there's resistance here, but a lot of times when it comes resistance, a lot of times on the other side of that resistance, you'll get a breakthrough. There'll be positive results on the other side of that resistance. You just gotta, kind of fight through it and make that change. It's like you said, making a habit. I think somebody said there's so many hours you have to do something to make it a habit or something like that. I can't remember exactly, but you gotta work through that resistance, and eventually you'll break through and make it a habit, and then it'll be much easier. So, so how did your discipline in the gym kind of spill over to like other areas of your life?
Yeah. So is that what she said? The girl said. What did she exactly say in the submission thing?
Oh, there's all kinds of stuff on here.
She definitely said. I did not write all of that stuff, uh,
Okay.
but I glanced over it. So I think she kind of, I mean, just discipline in general. I wouldn't even say discipline in the gym. I mean, just discipline in general. There are months where I go and run 3 miles every day, and then I work out. So I do a workout, 30 minutes of weights, or about 40 minutes, probably 40 minutes of weights, and then I'd go run 3 miles every single day. I could do that in about an hour and 10 minutes because I just didn't have time. That would be something I did every day for 30 days or 60 days. But I cared about more about like what would happen on the tennis court. So I had to do a lot of stretching as well, and a lot of tennis playing. So that's why I didn't really spend a whole ton of time necessarily in the gym. But if you count like all the other stuff, it's like a lot of time. A lot of time. I like running outside. I don't like running inside. I like running in the sun.
I agree. I do a lot of running on the treadmill, unfortunately, but I would prefer to run outside if I could.
Oh yeah, yeah. You gotta run. You gotta run outside. I don't know if you got a beach, dude. There's this beach in San Diego. I'd run. It's like 5, 6 miles, right next to the ocean. You get a tan. You get an ocean view for while you're running. You get to
Yeah,
meet some girls. I met a lot of girls on those ocean runs.
that would be nice. Unfortunately, I'm not that close. I'm about an hour and 15 minutes from the beach, so I can't do that,
You
unfortunately.
run there. You can run there.
Yeah, then I got to get back somehow.
It's got to be less than 100 miles.
Yeah, probably a little less. I think it's like 80 miles or so, something like that.
I ran once to. I ran once. It was way too far. My legs hurt afterwards. Just my feet hurt after running 15 miles.
Yeah, you definitely gotta build yourself up to it. It takes a while. Running is one of those things where like it takes you years to really progress when it comes to running.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, you gotta. It takes. That's why you see some of your best runners are a little bit older when it comes to like athletes. You know, we
oh
think athletes, we think people in their 20s. Athletes are very
yeah,
young, but when it comes to runners, like some of your strongest runners are in their 30s and 40s because it's taken them that long to like build up that
yeah.
endurance.
I know what you mean too, because when I was running and I was thinking, oh man, it'd be cool to run 100 miles. Started running 3 miles, 5 miles a day, and then I got to the point where it's like, oh, I could easily run 10. It just
Yeah.
starts getting easy. But if you stop, restarting
Yeah.
again, you suck.
If you don't
I'm
use it, you'll
awful.
lose it. That's for sure.
Dude. I even said, I'm like, dude, it takes, you run a mile, next day you run a mile, next day run two, three, four, five. It takes a while, but you build up quick and you lose it quick.
That's for sure. But the next time you go back, you'll build it up even quicker because your body kind of remembers a little bit.
Yeah,
You
a
kind of have
little.
that muscle memory. But yeah,
Yeah,
it's crazy seeing a lot of these ultras, the ultra marathons. A lot of people run them are people later in life, not later in life, but like older people, like in their 40s, 50s. A lot. You would think it'd be more younger people, but it's not. There's
yeah.
because these people have just been running for so long.
And a lot of running is obviously like your legs and feet have to be able to handle it. You got to get like the right nice socks and shoes, but it's more of the mental
Oh
ability
yeah.
to, because you're just like, man, once you start feeling physically bad, then your mind kind of starts. It's like a war on your mind, especially if you do it with no music too.
Yeah,
Music can way help.
yeah, the running is very, very mental, and I think that's why people like it so much. They get addicted to it because it's just you and your own thoughts. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like therapy for some people. They get out there
Yeah.
and kind of torture themselves.
So why have you ever thought about, I'm guessing you probably thought about this. Why have you ever thought about like starting a supplement company where you sell like a supplement product? I don't know what you do for work,
I,
but if
I
you're
work in
into,
construction. I'm a project manager for a construction project. I've definitely thought about it before. I'm not educated enough on it. I don't know enough about supplements. You know what I'm saying? Like I take supplements, but I've never dove deep into like the science of them. You know how they're affecting
yeah,
all affecting your body. I feel like I would need to do a lot more research before I got into something like that because I wouldn't want to just sell any product. There's a lot of like what I guess they call them white label supplement companies out there that you can just a manufacturer makes them and you just slap your label on them and
yeah,
sell them. See, like I don't think I would want to do that. I think I would want to like kind of not necessarily manufacture my own product, but I would want to know the process, how it's made, how it's working in your body, and I don't know enough about it. Like I would have to do a lot more research on it. I definitely would be interested in that before. I've thought about because I'm trying to eventually the goal is to work in fitness somehow. Eventually, I don't know what that looks like at the moment, but I want to work in fitness. That's why I like to make content. I make a lot of fitness contents. That's kind of the route that I'm going down right now. Is trying to do the fitness content, but
yeah,
I've definitely thought about the supplements before. I've thought about like fitness clothing before because nowadays you can get manufacturers to make it for you and you just kind of
yeah,
slap your logo on it. But I don't know. I don't think I'm educated enough on the supplements to because there's a lot that goes into supplements if you really want to like dive deep into the weeds of trying to figure out how to manipulate all the ingredients in one supplement to to maximize this or that depending on
Oh,
what you're going for.
th-
There's a lot
there's
to it.
there's definitely a lot to it. I mean, it's a lot easier said than done. I was just curious though. I was just
Yeah,
curious. Good to ask.
I mean, you could definitely go like the easy route and just get like a white. I guess don't they call it white label? Is that the right term?
Yeah,
Like,
I mean that's what I mean. I'm
yeah.
saying have your product made. You don't. I
Yeah.
would not recommend trying to make it. That
Well,
is
no,
a
I wouldn't
brutal
manufacture it,
that
but
is
you
a
could.
brutal journey.
Yeah, I wouldn't manufacture it, but you could kind of create your own product and let somebody else manufacture it for you. But I don't know. I've never got into it enough. I don't know. I feel like that's a lot of. I don't know. It's not really much of a risk because I feel like you can start that pretty cheap? Because you would just start with one supplement and then kind of work your way up from there.
You could probably start it for under 10 grand or
Yeah,
around 10,000. You could probably get a good jump somewhere around that. Plus your time, maybe 15 grand plus all your time. You could take a good stab.
yeah. I've never done like my own business, so I guess I'm just not. I don't know. I don't know enough about it. Like I feel like I would need to be more educated on it before I sold it, because I wouldn't want to sell a product that I didn't know like all the ins and outs about it. I would want to be well educated. That way, if somebody asked me about the product, I could definitely answer it. Which
Yeah.
I know if you started your own company, you would obviously would learn more about it. That's part of the
Yeah.
process, but it's just not something I've gone down that path yet. I'm still figuring it out. I'm trying to do the whole content thing right now, so we'll see where that takes me.
Yeah. Don't do it unless you have a crazy burning desire to do and you don't think you'll ever give up.
Yeah, that's the thing. I like supplements because I take them, I utilize them in my own thing, but I don't know if it's something I'm necessarily like passionate about. But then again, it's probably one of those things like you'll never know until you try it. So like
Yeah.
you never know if you're passionate about it unless you dive deep into it. So, but I've never been the one. I never like really looked into like the ingredients on each. Like I take a lot of pre-workout, or I take like hydration mixes and things like that. I've never
What do you
really
take?
say what.
What do you take?
I take pre-workout for my weight training sessions. For my endurance sessions, I will like for running or biking. I will do some G1M Sport, if you know what that is, from BPN. It's like a carb mix, carb power. It's made out of like cluster dextrin is the carb source in it. So it's just like a quick digest. It's a liquid. It's a powder, but you mix it up in water, and it's just a quick digesting carbs that you take right before you work out to get some carbs in. I take creatine, and of course I take protein powder. But I've never really got like into the weeds of all the ingredients and how they interact with
Yeah.
each other,
Of
how you
course.
digest them, and things like that. I've never.
Yeah. Interesting. I take a very similar blend, but I don't take it for I don't take a pre-workout for working out usually. I take stuff specifically for when I play tennis. That's like has dextrose in it, some carb stuff. And then
Yeah, if you've never taken pre-workout, don't take it. you
I don't
know.
like the caffeine. I don't
Well,
know.
I'm fine with caffeine. It's just the pre-workout's kind of addicting. I'll be honest. Like I never used pre-workout until I got out of college. Like I worked out for 8 years before I ever touched the pre-workout. But then it's like once I started using it, now I don't want to work out without it. It's like it makes your workouts that much better. Like it works. There's a reason people take it. It works very very well. But then if you get used to taking it, then it's like you don't want to work out without it.
Well, isn't there usually a lot of caffeine in the pre-workout?
Yeah, different ones have different amount of caffeine, but like you build up a tolerance to caffeine, so it don't make me like jittery or anything. I'm used to it at this point. But if you are prone to like not prone to if you don't handle caffeine well, you definitely want to start with like half a scoop and then work your
Yeah.
way up. I wouldn't take a whole scoop because you may get a little jittery off of it, and it does
Yeah.
have different effects on different people, and different. What I've learned is different brands will affect you differently too. Like you can definitely tell they use different ingredients because they'll make you feel different. It's hard to explain. You would just have to take it. Like some of them will make you sweat more. Some of them will make you feel more jittery. Some of them will give you more of that like tingly feel. You
Yeah.
probably heard of people say that they feel tingly. Like some of them will get that. So it's just all depends on the brand and which one you're taking and how much of you take. How much of you take is it plays a big role because you can like one scoop versus two scoops could be completely different ball game. It could be just right amount, or you could take way too much.
Yeah. Well, I mean, 4 shots of espresso and 2 shots is a big difference.
Yeah.
There's a big difference between 2 and 1.
Yeah, you definitely gotta be careful taking it. If you're not very good with caffeine, I would caution you when it comes to pre-workout. Be careful taking it because you can, kind of, it can make you real anxious. Like if you don't handle it well, you can get real anxious, and it can even make you like throw up if you take it on an empty stomach, and it don't sit well in your stomach. I would
Yeah.
definitely eat some food. Eat some food before you take it because it can. If you don't sit well in your stomach, it could give you problems.
So
But
you gotta got it.
But yeah, I mean, if you've never taken it, I would never take it because if you don't need it,
Yeah.
there's no point in like trying to utilize it. Honestly, all you need for some pre-workout is some coffee. Like that's what I took before. Like when I was in high school and college, I literally just drank coffee. That's all I would drink, like a cup of
Yeah.
coffee in the morning, and that was it. And that's all I needed. But then after I started working after college, I had to start working out in the afternoon. So I needed a little pick me up before my workout. So I would take some pre workout, and that's how I got started taking it. And now I take it a lot. So it's not the best thing, but right now I'm only working out 3 days a week with weights. So I only take it 2 to 3 times a week. But there's been weeks in the past where I was working out 6 days a week, and I was taking it 6 days a week, which is probably not very smart, but I did it. Uh, but my body can handle it. Like I've gotten used to it. The caffeine and stuff
Yeah.
don't really bother me because you build up a tolerance to caffeine. Like
You build up. Yeah. Yeah. You do.
yeah, your body like 100 milligrams of caffeine for me is nothing. Like it don't affect me at all. But for some people, 100 may be a lot. Like you may be bouncing off the wall with 100 milligrams of caffeine. It just depends.
Yeah.
So you definitely can build up a tolerance. And I'll do breaks on it for after a while. Like if I've taken it say for a month straight, I'll do like a caffeine, not detox, but like a not what's the word for it? It's basically like a detox. Like I'll tone it way back to where
Yeah.
like I'm not taking it, or I may be taking a lot less, or maybe I'll just drink a cup of coffee, and that'll bring my tolerance level way back down. So then I don't have to use as much. So I will do that every now and then, which is I probably should do it more often, but it does help.
Got to be careful with it. I've found I need to be careful with it.
Mm.
Sometimes I'm just in a bad mood, like just a bad mood, it's because I had too much caffeine. It's happened to me so many times. So I literally cannot have more than like one shot of espresso in the morning, unless I'm do like a crazy. The cool thing is if you do a crazy amount of exercise, like let's say you ran a ton, like and you did some crazy workout, or you could actually drink a little caffeine after that. But if I have too much caffeine and I haven't worked out, I go insane. It's like almost like I'm like a rat in a cage or like a tiger in a cage. I'm just like, I have all this stuff. I need to go. What am I supposed to do? I need to get it out. I can't get it out. I'm going crazy. So
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't take pre-workout if I'm not going to work out. I would not take that. I only
yeah,
use it for working out. I said I wouldn't use it for anything else because it's like you said,
yeah,
you'll be jittery, you'll be trying bouncing off the wall. You're trying to get it out.
yeah.
So I definitely wouldn't use it for any other reason.
I was
But
one
that's
step.
interesting.
Mhm.
Go ahead.
What were you gonna say?
I'll say that's interesting that you said it puts you like in a bad mood because it does the complete opposite for me. Like caffeine makes me feel better, and definitely in the better, especially on the pre-workout. The pre-workout, I don't know what ingredients they put in it, but it gives you like super good clarity. Like you'll be locked in. Like it makes you very focused, which part of that's the caffeine, but there's other ingredients they put in there that help with this. I don't know what they are, but like you'll get some of the best workouts you've ever got in if you take pre-workout.
Yeah,
Because I don't know what they put in it, but and different ones give you different, make you feel different. But some of them will give you extreme like clarity, extreme focus, and you'll be locked in on your workout. Like, and that's all you're worried about. Like nothing else is going to distract
yeah,
you. You ain't thinking about nothing else. You're worried about your workout, and that's it. And that's kind of why that's why I like it so much. That's why I take it because I can focus on my workout, and that's all I'm worried about. I can get in there, knock it out real quick, and I can get out. So it's kind of funny. You said it makes you feel bad because it does the opposite for me. Like I like taking it because it makes me
yeah,
focused. It locks me in and it gets
yeah.
me going. But I could definitely get what you're saying. Like if you're not gonna do nothing after, you may be kind of running in circles trying to get all the energy out.
Or they're driving around like I don't know, driving around no destination or something. It depends. Like if I have a Starbucks cup of coffee and I haven't had one in a while, yeah, I'm gonna feel real good. But if I keep doing, there's like diminishing returns sometimes,
Yeah, and it can give you like some anxiety sometimes if you take too much caffeine because it makes you like worry. You're like jittery, so you gotta be careful. You gotta know your caffeine tolerances, and definitely don't take too much of it because it could be a negative thing. So what's next for you? What's next for you? You say you talked about you may be training for tennis. You have any other fitness things you may be looking forward to doing or in the future? Or is it all business right now? You locked in on the fertilizer?
I'm just trying to stay at my weight, stay fit, stay cut, not drink any booze, not do anything stupid, and grow my business and meet a nice chick. It's
That's awesome.
yeah. That's kind of what yeah.
You got to do some more sunset beach runs. That's what it sounds like.
I personally, I think I was honestly, I'll tell you, I think that I was focusing too much on everything that had to do with working out and dude, because I was working out, yoga, biking, tennis, and I stopped having to. I started the yoga studio, and those are 1 hour hot C2 yoga sessions. They're super brutal. After I learned, I'm like, dude, I can't waste the time driving there. I gotta be able to do this stuff in my place. You know, so like, and so I was spending almost too much time doing that. Where I'm like, whoa, I'm like, I'm like, I need to do other stuff. Like I shouldn't be focusing this much. So, uh, because I'm getting older, I gotta, there's other stuff I gotta tend to. So, but I just think staying in tip top stellar shape, I like having a clear mind. I like this. I like having a clean diet. It gives you crazy energy. It's like it's caffeine without even drinking caffeine. Literally, I don't know what kind of state. You even see guys talk about it, like the kind of state it puts you in. It kind of puts you in like hunt mode. So I don't have any plans of doing any bodybuilding shows like you or I'm just
Yeah,
trying to.
you definitely got to have a balance when it comes to things, and it definitely can become unhealthy. Like you said, you were spending too much time. So for you and you're working on your business, that was kind of unhealthy for your business, because you're wasting time, spending too much time. You need to be
Yeah.
doing other things. So you got to find a good balance, and that balance is going to look different for everybody, depending on what your goal is, what your schedule looks like, what your job is, things like that. So it's definitely important to find a balance
Well,
and know that you don't have to kill yourself. Like you can take days off. You don't have to grind every day.
yeah. The weird thing is that I was doing way more. For one, just like an hour a day for me is honestly enough. That you can do a lot in it. 1 hour a day, you can do a lot with a good diet. But even just the diet had more of a dramatic impact on me than any kind of almost to an extent. A lot of exercise that I could have done. My brother was telling me, "Oh, I'm in the gym," but I was like, "Oh, but what do you weigh on the scale? What are you eating?" And he's like, "Yeah, man, like yeah, the workouts just are not enough. I got to change what I eat."
Absolutely. I mean, you don't even have to step foot in the gym to really see a different when it comes to losing weight. Like a diet is the majority of it. Like I said earlier, it's probably 80%. The other 20% is everything else you do. But yeah, you don't ever have to step foot in the gym to lose 100 pounds. It strictly could happen, in the kitchen. What you're putting in your body. Food is fuel. It's not. You
Yeah,
don't eat for pleasure. Food is fuel. It's how you survive. It's how your body functions. It's not, you pleasuring yourself by eating food.
I think people, what you said is true. People can lose that kind of weight, and they don't literally. The funny thing is, the people could lose 100 pounds by just not doing anything. They don't even have to do anything. They just have to stop.
Yeah.
They just have to stop doing. Actually, like they don't actually. If they're lazy, it's actually will help. Just stop eating. Just don't eat very much. And be careful of that, and it will just disappear. It's not going to be fun. The first little while is not going to be fun. It's going to feel like you're starving, which is like the worst. Dude, I'm like looking up at my ceiling at night, and I was so hungry. I was just hungry, like my stomach just did not like it. I did not like it. I couldn't sleep. But then with all that, I couldn't sleep. I started working. I'm like, oh my God, I'm alive. It's like I just had a cup of coffee and I'm not even doing anything. I'm just not going to the fridge or the cupboard where I just go automatically. You walk you walk there like a million times. You look for stuff. And so it's really easy, but you have to have a lot of self-control because that food is genetically designed by people with a lot of money up top that want your money and they want to get you hooked. Those chips are incredible. I love those chips. You give me Doritos, I would love to eat the whole bag. I would feel terrible afterwards. That's why I don't have them in my place. I don't have a lot. I don't have any of this stuff in my place. I don't buy, I don't shop at Costco and buy big stuff. I don't buy anything in bulk unless it's like a bottled water or toilet paper. I buy I shop like every 4 or 5 days for just like lean chicken and ready to go arugula or all this stuff. Some stuff will last longer, but I don't buy anything in bulk to save. Like food, I do not buy in bulk. Mm-hmm. Other than if it's like oatmeal, or stuff, that will last for a very, very long time. So that's a huge one.
Yeah, I like to say out of state. I mean, out of sight, out of mind. Because if it's not there, then you don't think about eating it. So I'm the same way. I can't buy like snacks or junk food in my house because I will eat it. Like if it's there, I will eat it 100%.
Dude,
but I just can't buy it. Like I can't buy it. My wife
so
kills
funny.
me.
Dude,
my wife does that junk, and I hate it.
I will eat it too. I will do because the other day, you can eat a little bit of chocolate. So I'll go and I'll buy at the store enough chocolate for me to just eat that day. Mm-hmm. Look for the small stuff. Dude, I bought a big thing from Trader Joe's the other day. I'm like, I could do it. I bought this big jar. I started eating what I should eat. All of a sudden in the middle of the night, I start eating a bunch. Next day I felt terrible. I took it, threw it away. I'm like, dude, it's a war. It is a war between these manufacturers of food and us. The bigger our tummies get, the more we eat, the more they make. With everything that we eat, it's like money goes in there, even if it's small percentages of a penny, with each bite, it adds up, so it's literally a war.
Yeah. It's out of sight, out of mind. That's how I live. Because if it's in my house, it's going to get eaten. So I just can't buy it. My wife she'd be buying snacks and I'll be eating them. I get on to it.
How do you do it? How do you do it with a wife though? How do you do it with other people living in the home though? See, that's what I live alone. I don't know how does that work?
It's very tough. The best way to do it, I would say, is your spouse has to be on the same. Y'all have to be on the same wavelength. Y'all have to be thinking the same. So y'all have to be, she needs to be wanting to eat healthy, same as you're trying to eat healthy. Because if one of y'all is off, it's the other person. You're gonna influence each other. It's like I said, my wife buys snacks all the time. Guess who eats the snacks? I do. And I tell her, I'm like, you got to quit buying these. Like, you can't buy these no more. You're not allowed to buy them. Dude, and guess what? Funny. Every time we go to the grocery store, she'll come home with some other snack, and it kills me every time. I'm like, you got to quit doing this.
What are they?
Oh, like the last thing she bought was we were at Costco. Actually, she bought these. They're like little Reese's cups, but they're supposed to be healthy. They're like a healthy brand. I guess it's like dark chocolate and healthier peanut butter in it. I don't know, but.
Yeah, you started eating them up.
Yeah, I can't do it. She buys these little grapes that got like sugar, like sour candy on them. And they go in the freezer. Man, I'm eating those too. One of my weaknesses is peanut butter. I love
peanut butter. Dude, I love peanut butter. It's got so many calories. I love peanut butter. The Reese's peanut butter cups are my favorite as a kid.
I didn't buy it for the longest time. I did well. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna buy some peanut butter. Got the peanut butter. Ate the whole jar. I was like, nope, not buying peanut butter again. I can't buy it. Dude. I love peanut butter, but I can't buy it because I have no self-control. I will literally eat it with a spoon. Like, it's so good.
Dude, I love I can't do it. I used to eat it all. Dude, I love peanut butter, and almond butter is pretty good too, but it's got a lot of calories.
It is very, very calorie dense. And you don't realize, like, you don't realize how small the serving sizes are. It'll say like the serving size of peanut butter is 2 tablespoons.
2 tablespoons,
180 calories. Well, you don't realize how small 2 tablespoons is.
Not very much.
Very, very small. When you scoop a peanut butter in your spoon, you're probably getting like 4 or 5 tablespoons. So you're eating like 400 calories.
A tablespoon is close to like a spoonful.
Yeah, but I'm getting like a big spoonful. I'm getting a big spoon. I'm getting a big old scoop.
That's funny. I don't know how big your spoon. I'm talking like the spoon, like you put in the spoon and then it's flat across.
Yeah. If it's flat,
not like that. Not like that.
But I ain't getting it flat. It's it's standing up off the spoon when I get
Oh,
it.
that's hilarious. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so that's my problem. I can't buy it no more. We just threw away our last jar. I told my wife, do not let me buy any more peanut butter. Don't let me do it because I'm gonna
That's
eat it all.
hilarious.
That's my weakness is peanut butter. That junk's good.
I'll be honest, man. It's tough, dude. If people, I've had, it's very tough. Like let's say a girl buys a bag of Doritos and brings it to my place. I'll eat. I'm eating those Doritos. I'm
Yeah.
eating some of them.
Me too. And that's the thing, like, you don't have to be perfect. A lot of people think you gotta be perfect when it comes to your diet. Like, you don't.
Yeah,
I still have dessert, I still have
yeah,
it. I don't have it every single day. But I will have it. Will enjoy good food. And I think that's where a lot of people they go wrong because they think you have to eat perfect all the time. You don't. I like a good 80-20 balance. If you eat good, 80% of the time, you can kind of slack off a little bit those other 20% of the time. So you just got to
yeah,
kind of figure out what works. You don't have to be perfect. You
yeah.
can't enjoy those guilty pleasures. You can't have the peanut butter every
I
now and
think
then.
I think what happened when let's take it back to when you said about the 100 pound, people that think they're way too far gone. You know, they're they could do it, but they can't do it with the same rule, let's say, of the 80-20. You can eat good 80% of the time and not good 20%. I think that when you're so far gone, you have to do a lot of makeup, in order to kind of get back on track. And then once you're on track, then whatever, like eating some stuff here and there, it's not going to have a big impact.
Yeah, yeah. If you're trying to make a major change like that, yeah, you definitely got to lock in. But then
Yeah,
once you get like we said, once you get to where you want to be to your goal, then you can kind of
yeah.
find a good balance and have whatever's sustainable for you. Because it's not. Let's be honest, like it's not sustainable to eat perfect all the time. Like it's not. Like you're not going to eat a diet 100% of the time. It's just not sustainable. You're gonna
Yeah,
want to eat something else eventually. So
and it's good.
you just got to find that balance.
It's gonna taste real good too when you eat something else.
Oh yeah. Well, what you'll find is, and once you start eating healthier foods, once you start eating, these things, your palate will change. Like you'll start to like those quote unquote health foods. You'll start to like those more, and you'll enjoy those more, and it won't be as like bad. Most people think, oh, if I want to lose weight, I gotta eat salad all the time. I don't want to eat a salad. But what you'll find is, once you start eating those, you'll grow to start liking those. Like you'll start to like salad. You'll start to like chicken. You'll start to like the vegetables that most people don't want to eat. Your palate will change, and you'll start to enjoy those
Well,
things more.
so what I was eating, what I changed and mostly ate for weeks, when I changed it around, like I'd say 6-7 weeks ago, I just started making salads, but I would just use arugula, 6 ounces of chicken, throw it in the microwave. That was already like pre-cooked from like Trader Joe's. Throw it in the microwave, cut it up, throw it in there. Put some olive oil on it in there, some lemon juice, some salt, and some guac, from guac packs, and mixed around. That was my salad, which had protein in it. And then I would throw vegetables. I don't like vegetables, and it's a pain to like get them ready. So just I would get pre-cut vegetables in these bowls, and then I would throw it on the stove, throw some olive oil in there, not too much because it has a lot of calories too, like a tablespoon, and then salt, and then stir fry it around. Has some bamboo shoots. It tastes super good. It tastes super good. Like both those combined with the guac, the olive oil, the lettuce, the lemon chicken, the salt, the olive oil, the vegetables. Dude, it tasted incredible.
But it probably tastes better to you now than it did when you first started eating it, though. Because you kind of get like acquired taste for it. You start to like the things that you eat more often.
Yeah.
So you
Well,
probably you enjoy it. Like somebody else would look at your food and be like, I don't think that's gonna be very good. But to you, it tastes very good because you've kind of gotten that acquired taste for it.
well, I think also from seeing what actually happened from doing it gave me a lot of positive reinforcement. And so it's like, the rat going to cocaine. He keeps going to cocaine. And then I'm like, oh, well, that made me feel this good. I'm like, man. And then you start looking at not as food, you start looking at it as fuel. And you literally start looking at, like, I was looking at the vegetables and all this stuff. And I'm like, I'm literally becoming these vegetables. And they say you are what you eat. I'm like thinking, this is what I'm becoming. So, yeah. And
Yeah,
also, when you don't eat a ton, it tastes pretty good. When you're not always eating, every time you get to eat or you eat, it tastes pretty good.
yeah. When I was on my bodybuilding show, man, I was counting down the clock of when I could eat. I look forward to every meal. Like and it tastes good. Like when you're literally like starving, any food tastes good. Like I was eating chicken and rice, and it was the best food I ever ate in my life. Like people used to look at my meals and be like, "How do you eat that every day?" I'm like, "This junk tastes good." Like this, I don't know what you mean, but I look forward to this chicken and rice every single meal because it's like my food like it changed. All my palate
Changes,
changed.
changes,
I
yeah.
enjoy. I actually liked all the meals that I ate during my. I didn't eat just chicken and rice. I ate other things as well, but it was all what people would say healthy foods. But I enjoyed it. I like every bit of it. Any kind of like the meat, vegetables, rice. Like I really like, and I still eat those meals today. Like I still eat them because they're good to me. But it's not something that people look at and be like, oh yeah, that looks really good. But it's funny how when you start eating healthier, it's like one, your palate would change, but two, you get the benefits from it. Like you said, like you feel better. Like hey, I'm gonna eat this meal and I'm gonna feel better out after it. I'm not gonna feel terrible. I'm not gonna be bloated. It's not gonna sit on my stomach
Yeah,
for a while. It's
yeah,
gonna
you
give
def-
you energy. It's gonna give you fuel, like you said. It's not gonna weigh you down or anything. So you get the
well,
mental benefits from it too.
yeah, and I don't think people realize like, look, I've eaten plenty of Indian food in my life. I love In-N-Out. I used to eat In-N-Out burgers, double, two double doubles, everything on it, uh, chopped chilies, both onions. After tennis, and I mean, I eat everything and anything because I don't naturally gain a ton of weight. Like I'm not afraid I'm gonna gain like 30 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll tell you what, it has a huge impact on you because it messes your stomach up, especially when you're not used to it. Then you really notice you're like, damn, and then you could have an awful next day, like awful. You know what I mean? Like your stomach just does not like it. You're in the bathroom the whole time. So well, a lot of these foods do that to you once you get off of them. It's almost like a drug, you know. Once you get off of all this other food and you start eating it cleaner, you realize you're like, damn. And then when you lose it, I don't know anybody else, everybody else, what they go through, but I literally will lose a day and I'll be miserable if I ate, let's say, like the last time I ate two double doubles, I thought, I do that all the time. Dude, I was done the next day. Indian food, done for like half the day the next day. It's not pleasant, like you think you're gonna die in the bathroom. So,
Yeah,
yeah. So not all the time. I mean, obviously not all food, but I'm just saying if that happens.
yeah. Some foods definitely will affect others more than others. It depends on how your stomach kind of digests it. But yeah, it's like you said, people you get so used to eating that way that you don't realize how bad it's making you feel or how it's affecting your everyday life, your routine. You don't realize it because that's your new norm. If you eat it all the time, that's normal to you. But then once you change that up, you really see those benefits from it. So
Yeah.
it can go that, like you said, the diet is huge. It makes all the difference.
People get tired, and I was always very tired always, and so then you think
Hmm.
you need a lot. And then what people do, they drink a lot more caffeine.
Hmm.
Because even just eating just like a little bit of the wrong food at the wrong time of the day can do whatever to your blood sugar, and all of a sudden you get tired. You ate too. You shouldn't have eaten this heavy of a thing, and now you're super tired like the whole day, and you
Yeah.
gotta lay down.
Yeah, it definitely affects your mood and your energy is a big result of what you're putting in your body, the fuel that you're putting in your body for sure. So yeah, I think that's all I got for you. I don't want to keep you too long. But yeah, if you so where can people follow your journey, your business? Shout out all your
Oh,
socials, your website or anything like that.
just my name. Everything's usually just my full name: Instagram, LinkedIn, website, full name Yousef Benhamida.
Been so where are you from? California originally? You're
I grew up in Boise and I moved to California around 10 and have been in the state
so
ever
what is
since.
your ethnicity? You
Oh, I'm half Middle Eastern.
okay?
Like my dad's from Algeria. Mom's mostly white. So I'm just a half Middle Eastern white
Algeria,
kid.
that's you would consider that Middle Eastern? That's Africa,
Uh,
right?
yeah, but really, like
Mm-hmm.
Morocco, Egypt,
Mm-hmm.
and Algeria are pretty similar. And it's pretty much, like we're not black,
Mm-hmm.
like there a lot of Africa. It's more what you'd find like in Saudi Arabia or a Middle East or a Middle Eastern country is kind of what people in the North Africa are mostly like.
You ever been over there before? Never been. You say is your dad from there, or is he's from here?
He's from there. Yeah, I inherited some date trees that are in Algeria because we have a date farm, but it's so third world, and I just never went over there. Sometimes there's like wars there, but
Yeah, it could be
yeah,
good.
it's very third world.
Yeah, that's interesting. I want to make it over to Egypt one day. That's on my bucket list. I want to go to the pyramids. I just want to see them. I don't know why, but I have this weird, not obsession, but I have this
Yeah,
weird thing where I want to go see them for some reason. So we'll see. But like you said, it may be kind of dangerous over there. So
I mean, a lot of people go to Egypt, you know.
yeah, Egypt's cool. I want to go for sure. I want to check it out. But that's on my list. That's on my bucket list of places to go.
Yeah, yeah, you should go.
I want to make it over there one day. But yeah, that's all I got for you. You got any questions before we get off?
You got any kids? You getting any kids soon?
No, we don't have kids. We are planning on having kids, but we haven't started trying. We have a big vacation plan this year, and then so we're thinking about maybe next year we're gonna start.
You
My
guys
wife's
have
starting to get my wife's brother just had a baby, so she's starting to get a little baby fever. So she's been hitting at it. She's been hitting at it, but we're still trying to hold off.
guys,
We're going to
uh,
Greece and Rome in October of this year, so we're trying to
oh
hold off
really?
for a little bit.
Not Mykonos, right?
Yeah,
Mykonos?
yeah, we're going on a cruise. So and Mykonos is one of the places we're going to. Yeah,
I'm going to Mykonos.
yeah.
Uh,
Is that's the one with all the white buildings, right? That's everybody
I,
sees in Greece. I think that's
I
it.
just booked a thing to go to Mykonos this
Oh,
month.
awesome. Yeah, it's we're pumped about it because it's probably gonna be. We try to take a big trip every year for our anniversary, so that's what this is for. So we've taken 3 trips so far. This will be the 4th one. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm a little scared to fly that far. It'll be the furthest flight I've ever taken. So I'm a little nervous. So it's a long flight. I've
Yeah,
never flown overseas before. So
yeah. Actually, the planes that go overseas are bigger and heavier and have less turbulence typically than the smaller airplanes. I found, depending on what airplane you go on.
it's a Boeing 777 is what we're gonna be on.
Yeah,
It's a bigger plane. I've never been on
yeah.
one this big.
They're pretty nice and comfy when you're on it. Actually, I
Yeah,
don't like flying. Yeah.
the biggest plane I've ever flown is like an Airbus A320. So it's got not 2 rows, but I got a set of seats here and a set of seats here. It don't have no big middle row, but I think the one I'm gonna be on has one of the big middle row, like you see on a movie. That's what we'll be on.
Yeah.
The planes you
Why?
fly domestically are a lot smaller than that in the U.S. and that's all I've flown on.
Well, you're going to be safer flying than driving to the gym, so just know that.
Yeah, that's what I keep trying to tell myself. I'm like, flying is still the safest form of transportation. So I keep telling myself that.
Dude, I hate flying. Dude, when the plane is going popping up or moving, dude, I do not like it. Even though it's fine, I do not like it.
I've never really had a problem with planes until this year when all these planes just started crashing all of a sudden. Like this year, for some reason, there's been a bunch of plane crashes, and you've never heard of them before, like commercial flights.
Yeah.
Like you will never hear commercial planes crashing, but this year I've seen a couple of them. Like they just had that one in India, and then they had the one that hit the helicopter, the American Airlines that hit the helicopter. That was in the U.S. And I don't know. I've seen a couple of them, so I don't know. It's just weird to me that all this is happening all of a sudden. The same year that I'm flying across overseas, I'm like, this would happen.
I mean, if it makes you feel better, there are a lot of plane flights every day. Like there's like a
Oh yeah,
lot of plane flights.
yeah.
So
Yeah, it's like the amount of planes that crash is like less than 1%. Like it's the safest form of transportation by far.
yeah, definitely. No, definitely not 1%. It's like one in it's like 1 in 10 million that a
Yeah,
plane will crash
yeah.
or
It's not very
something.
common,
Yeah,
but
yeah. It's like
it
it's like
but what
lottery.
yeah, it's like when it does happen though, it's a big deal. So like everybody hears about it. So I don't know, it's kind of scary.
It's a big deal. They were talking. I saw this video how they were talking about like plane. Like if the plane's gonna go down, there's like I don't know if it's a real video. I just saw like a reel and it was like, oh, the plane like separates and then like a parachute Like,
Yeah, that's a new thing they're working on. It's not in production yet, but I have seen where they're working on that. It's supposed to be like a
I'll tell you what, if I had a private plane, I would definitely have my own parachute.
oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. That would be cool though when they start making those things. A parachute on the plane. That I definitely think they need it. But I have heard where there's like a in order for like a commercial plane to fly to malfunction, like 5 different things would have to happen for that plane to come down. Like it has 5 different
Yeah,
safety factors on it that would have to mess up before it would crash.
a lot of
So
things.
a lot of things would have to go wrong for you to crash. So it makes you feel a little better.
I did know a pilot. It was a pilot for like 40 years, and I asked him like, "Does anything ever go wrong on the plane?" And he's like, "In my 40 years, nothing ever happened." I was like, "Oh, okay, that makes me feel a long time. You've been on a lot of flights in 40
Yeah.
years."
I actually used to work at a plane manufacturer. There's an Airbus in my local where I live at, and I used to work there. And they have like them planes have a whole separate like backup engine on them that you don't even realize that it'll drop down below it, and it helps guide you down. Like if both your engines went out. Well, first off,
Really?
those planes they can function off of one engine. So like
Yeah.
so you got two failure points there, and then it has another one that will drop down the bottom, and it'll help. It's not like an engine.
Really?
It's weird how it works, but it's like it's not a full size engine. It's smaller, and it drops down at the bottom, and it'll help guide you to lower you down. I don't know how it works. It's way above my head, but I used to work at the manufacturing place, and that was I forget what they call it, but yeah, there's a bunch of safety mechanisms that have to go wrong before the plane would ever crash. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think that's all I got for you. Yeah, y'all check him out. You said Yousef Benhamida. Did I say? I did not say that.
Pretty good. That was pretty good. That was right on.
Benhamida. Benhamida.
That's
Is that
pretty
how
good. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
yeah. All right. Well, thank you for joining the podcast. I enjoyed our time learning about fertilizer. Honestly, didn't know anything about it. I'm not a gardener. I have to admit, I'm not a gardener at all. So that was pretty cool learning a little bit about that. But yeah, thank you for joining the podcast. I appreciate our time, and good luck to you in business, also in your tennis journey. I hope you get some wins out there. Enjoy, get you in some of them tournaments and practice them. But yeah, you have a great day. I appreciate you. Yeah, y'all tune in again next week for another episode of the Fitness Beginner Podcast.